Scruffy Audio Network.
I am so excited. Hey, is everybody's phone on vibrate? We do not need.
Oh, really?
Silent.
Hey,
Silent, whatever.
Pot. Hey,
Silent.
Pot. Where's the kettle?
That sounds racist.
Why does that? I don't even understand. I said pot.
Because they're both black.
I didn't say black. I said pot and kettle.
Racist. You are so racist.
Hey, it's not a white kettle.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to Why Would You Go There? Podcast about travel. I am Troy. This is my partner, Lee.
Partner in crime.
And we're getting joined by his other partner today.
My real partner.
No, wait a minute. I'm your real partner.
Oh, man.
We're getting joined by your beard.
Getting awkward. This is getting awkward.
Hey, this is
That's
really
Miriam.
awkward.
Miriam from 3D Women.
Yeah.
Speaking of, before we do anything else,
Yeah.
let's berate you about 3D Women. Because we did that when my
Why are you
other
berating
half.
me?
Well, we did it to my other half when she
Yeah.
was here. What is going on with that? It's been like 4 or 5
I
weeks
don't know.
since you guys
So
have had a podcast.
I took responsibility and texted the other two because I care.
Yep.
And the response was, yeah, sure, we're both interested. And then I said, okay, pick a day, let's do it. And didn't hear back from either of them. So this is on them.
Yeah, so 3D Women is going to continue at some point, you think?
I'm not convinced it will.
Okay.
Is
Because
it 1D women?
I was the only one that cared. So.
No, that's not what I hear from Georgia. She says she cares also.
Or one
She
of our
says-
3 did not care.
Yes,
so.
I think she says that also. So she said, not that he doesn't care, but she
But I
might
will
be
say,
busy with life.
She said,
Why are we recording this right now? Who cares?
Yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, hey,
Hey.
today we are, now that we've done that, Lee, why don't you talk to folks about how they can follow us?
Yeah.
Since there's
It's
not
been a
any real
while.
reason to talk about how to
It's-
follow 3D Women right now.
Yeah, so true. So true. It's been a while, yeah. So you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Why would you go there? And
Yep,
then on
that's it.
Twitter at Why Would You Go? So give us a follow. We tweet out whenever we release episodes and maybe even travel some. So yeah, give us.
Did you
us a
tweet
look.
out this last week when you were traveling?
I did. I tweeted quite a bit actually.
Oh, good.
do
a
you,
lot of
do you
Iceland
guys know how many
pictures.
followers you have? Do you have any idea?
No, I have no idea.
Do you want to guess?
How many Twitter followers we have?
Yes.
1,200.
Up higher than that. Wow. You are 60 shy of 2K.
Wow. You are really awesome at this social media stuff.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
I love it.
You know how many?
And let me throw this out there. We had yesterday somebody I follow on Twitter asked for, does anybody do any travel podcasts?
Wow.
So I tweeted at them, and then Lee saw it and recommended it also. And the guy said he downloaded an episode to start
Yeah.
listening
well,
to.
that's
He's
another
looking-
listener because once you listen once, you're going to listen
you're hooked.
forever.
You
Yeah,
are.
you're hooked.
Yeah, he used to do like he used to do travel the Southeast, and he's called Southeastern Traveler. And now he's starting like his own podcast. So hopefully he's not going to rival us. What the heck?
No, he
That's
won't.
one. Oh, okay,
Who rivals
He's
us?
going to steal
Come
your
on.
ideas.
True.
Well, that's
true.
more.
Yeah,
more-
he's listening first.
I also did my share. I while you were gone this past week, I posted 3 times on Instagram and on Facebook, and actually got one more Facebook follower. So now we're up to 148.
Love it. Dig
Nice.
So,
Which
yeah.
Facebook is actually non-existent for our followers, but whatever. Anyway, today I'm excited because you've been gone for a week. This is the first time
No, I
I've seen
missed
you in
you.
about 10
I
days.
missed you so much.
so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We keep holding hands on
This
the
is
table.
uncomfortable.
I haven't seen you in about 10 days.
Yeah.
And you have.
How do I look?
You look great.
Oh,
you look
man.
Yeah, you
better
do.
than I remember.
Yeah.
You do.
Oh yeah. You trimmed the beard.
Not
Yeah, a little bit. No?
since we left.
Well, since the last time I saw you, it was a little thicker last time I saw you.
Maybe.
Yeah. So it's been a while. Oh yeah. Oh man. I wish our viewers could see that. You're so brawny. Our listeners, rather.
Yeah.
I wish our listeners were viewers so they could see
Yeah.
how brawny you are.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about someplace that you just got back from. That's why Miriam has joined us.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. We're going to talk about where?
Iceland!
Yay!
Yes.
Oh, I love that when we
Man,
do that.
yeah.
Oh, man, and Miriam got involved. Wow, nothing like a 3-way. That was awesome. So, I see you've written Iceland up on the board, and
Yeah.
then right beside it, you have written green, not ice.
Yes.
Why don't you explain that?
So, I don't know if you've heard the old saying, but everybody thinks Greenland and Iceland, they get those confused. And Greenland is known for being icy, like snowy white. Iceland is known for being green. So it's
Yeah, so
interesting.
why do you think they named them that way?
I don't know. I think they just got confused. I don't know.
You don't think maybe they
I
said,
don't
you know
really
what,
know.
let's name this Iceland so nobody wants to come
I
here.
think they
We
purpose-
keep it for ourselves.
I
Yeah.
think they did purposely do it to throw off other people from
Yeah.
coming there.
Who would have done that?
The Vikings.
The Vikings. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because they discovered this lush green country and were like, we're going to name it Iceland, and then no one
But-
will come.
You sent me some pictures,
Yeah.
and it looked like it was not green.
It's not as lush green right now. There were parts, that we still saw that you could tell. You could tell
It wasn't the
during
dead of winter.
spring and
Yeah.
summer. Yeah, but in winter, it's still
Yeah,
it's
it's still winter.
icy.
I mean,
there's still
it's pretty
snow.
nasty here right now.
Yeah, no doubt. So it was a little more icy there. It was a little more white than the probably other times of the year. But yeah, it was. I just wanted to clarify that
Sweet.
because everybody says
And I
Iceland green light.
love that you have written on the board, arrival and getting around. Because I love to talk about getting around,
Yeah,
and you
you
always
do.
give me a hard time about that.
yeah.
So why don't you, either one of you, tell me what's going on with those two
a
things?
few things. If you're traveling from the East Coast, which we were flying from New York across, it's only about a five and a half hour flight into the city. So that's like way closer than
Into what city?
into
Reykjavik.
Reykjavik, which the
Yeah.
actual airport is Keflavik, and it's like 45 minutes from Reykjavik. But
Which
so
is
it's
a pain, by the way.
It
but
is
yeah.
a pain, but it's a quick flight. I mean, compared to other European
Yeah.
countries. And when we got there, it was like 7 a.m, and it was completely dead. No one was there, anything like that. And we got a rental car because that is probably, I think, the best way to get around over there. They do have buses that'll pick you up at the airport and take you into the city, and then you can
So you just ride this 45-minute ride into the city?
right, and then
on
you
a
can
bus, that
do
sounds
a
miserable.
bus tour for transportation around certain parts of the country, but there's no real public transportation otherwise. You're doing like
Okay.
a tour operator type group.
Yeah.
So having a car means you can just do whatever,
Do whatever
you want.
Yeah, yeah.
I do what I want.
I know you do.
Yeah,
Cars
the
are-
airport had all kinds of people. They have the signs out where they're meeting people because they're going on a tour, like a smaller tour. They didn't always look like big ones, but it looked like groups of like 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever. So yeah, so they have all kinds of little tours.
Okay.
yeah, so we
Or
rented a
groups.
car, which cars are expensive over there.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean by just the rental?
The
cars?
the rental
Expensive.
itself. And then
And gas or petrol is
Yeah.
expensive also?
That was definitely expensive. The car to me, it was expensive, but it wasn't like crazy expensive. I mean, you're on an island, so
Yeah.
you're gonna pay for it, right? The gas was pretty expensive to me. I mean, I don't even think that we filled up fully ever because we never let it get really low because you never know
You
where
never-
you're going to
right.
be. You never know when there's going to be a gas station. So anytime it got to anywhere close to half, we were filling it up, and it was like $80.
Wow.
every
Yeah.
time.
So
yeah.
what's their form of currency?
The Icelandic kroner.
Kroner.
Okay. And what is the exchange rate basically?
0.00. What is it?
0.083, I think, or
That's
is that
okay.
right?
Okay.
Was that
so
right?
so 80
Yeah.
cents 80
Yeah.
cents to the dollar
Yeah.
basically. They don't say cents, but
Essentially, yeah. So stuff would register like something might register. I think it was, if it was $10, it would show up as, was it 1,000?
1,000.
I don't know. The conversion was really hard to keep up with, and it was terrible. So I always just multiplied it by 0.0083.
So
to get
we'll
it.
we'll say we got a pizza at one place, and it was like $2,400, which was the equivalent of about $20.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we did find we got money out of the ATM, so we had kroners cash. But everywhere we
Kroners.
went,
had kroners.
We're
It
kroner
sounds-
rich.
It sounds like you got some kind of pastry out of the ATM. We had
I
kroners.
wish.
Yeah.
But everybody took credit cards. I was shocked that it was such a, what's that word?
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at that. I don't
You're
think
not?
they would take credit
But
cards.
there's so many places.
There's so many European travelers there.
True, but and Americans
American
at this point.
right.
But yeah, there's so many places that are so out there. There's
Yeah. Thanks for the plug for my
yeah,
song, by the way.
no doubt.
You can find that song on troysuggs.com.
Yeah, this guy's a man of many talents. But there's literally there's nothing else around. I mean, it's so desolate in some places, but yeah, they still take credit cards in a lot of those places.
Well, remember, things like Square and stuff like that are kind of making it to where now it's accessible worldwide, and the world's getting smaller. I would think, before either one of us retire, it's going to be virtually impossible to go someplace that doesn't take credit cards.
I will tell you this: you'll like this, like I did. They take American Express pretty openly there. A lot of places don't always take it in Europe, especially when you get to smaller towns or whatever. But yeah, it was widely accepted. So we love that. So we talked about getting around, there's so many tour groups that you can do, like day trips from Reykjavik, but we wanted to rent a car, like Miriam said, because we wanted to be able to just drive around wherever, whenever we wanted. Oddly enough, we knew somebody that went there the exact same time that we did, and he stayed in Reykjavik, and he took day trips every single day. Like, it's not crazy far, but man, that just seems like a lot of driving to me, because he's driving back like an hour or two from wherever he went.
So you just traveled around and went to a different city. We stayed there that places. Night.
Yeah, we kind of rotated around a little bit. We stayed in the same place twice one night, but it was kind of out maybe in more of the almost this. Well, it wasn't quite the center, but almost in the middle of the country. And like the place that they're really, really known for, like the tourist destinations that a lot of people do, and they take these tours, is called the Golden Circle.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the Golden Circle?
Yeah. Do you want to hear about it?
I definitely did.
Yeah. But so it just has all these different tourist
So what does
spots.
What does that mean, the Golden Circle? Is it like a group of different tourist spots that are in a circle? And is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's just so many things that you can see. It's like a circular road that just goes around maybe a quarter of the island.
Okay.
I mean, it's like the southwestern part primarily. And it just goes to all these different scenic places. So if you want to get away from people, you can jump off of this Golden Circle and do other stuff. But
don't jump off the Golden Circle.
Stay on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's just so
stay
many
on it till
things.
you finished at least. Oh, and I'm looking at some of the names of some of these places on the Golden Circle, and they look very easy to pronounce.
Oh my gosh.
Gladbach, Siffler, Fizzer.
Siffler?
Is
that what you got?
Thingvala Kirkaja. Yeah, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce any more of these. Okay, so
we got there in the morning. We picked up our car. It was like 7:30 in the morning. It's still dark. So they're in their period right now where they're starting to get more daylight, but the sun didn't rise till like 9:30 or 10, and then it sets at 5:30. So
it's a short day.
Short day, but it's longer than it had been. Mm-hmm. So we got there to see the sunrise, actually, which was pretty cool. And so we started our drive to get on the Golden Circle, and kind of just moseyed along and took photos as we went.
I don't ever mosey when I drive.
Were you? It was light at that point, or was it still dark?
When we picked up our rental car, it was dark. We were out there trying to figure out.
We actually saw the sun coming up, rising. That was awesome. It was kind of along the coast too that we did it. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was beautiful. Really cool. And we kind of drove through, it's such an interesting terrain because there are mountainous areas, there's volcano there. I don't know if you remember, but it created, it wreaked havoc when a volcano erupted there in like 2010 or 11 or something. I don't remember
that.
Yeah, Hekla.
It stranded passengers for
2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, weeks.
Oh, wow.
Because of the smoke plume.
You fly north.
They couldn't see anything.
They always fly north, and so everything from the U.S. to Europe was basically going through there, and they couldn't go.
Yeah.
It just wreaked havoc. But yeah, there's like flat areas. There's that volcanic areas, and there's
so much
mountains.
There's so much water too. It's really interesting. You just be driving along, and it's just there's a little creek, and then it's like there's the inlet from the ocean, and there's a lake. And being winter, so much of it was frozen, but then so much of it wasn't. And it was this weird thing where I was like, I wonder how many people go try to walk out on this seemingly frozen thing and then falling and drowning.
So there's just like chunks of ice or something in it?
Yeah. And Miriam will probably talk about this in a second, but the waterfalls, because there's so much water and everything is so lush, there are waterfalls everywhere, and they are beautiful. They're just so big. It's not like it's just a 10-foot waterfall or 20-foot waterfall. We have the luxury of being right here next to the Great Smoky Mountains, so we get to see some waterfalls. But they put our waterfalls to shame. I mean,
those waterfalls here are, on a worldwide scale, generally pretty small.
Yeah. And they're just so big there, and they're so different how they contrast with other waterfalls there. I mean, they range in all different sizes, and they're just so cool. And each time you see one, it's just different. I mean, like there's one that's very thin, but it's incredibly high. It's probably 150 feet high, and then there's one that just towers because it's such a rushing water that it's like 100 yards wide.
Wow!
But it's only 40
you're going to send me
deep.
some pictures of that. So
yes, definitely.
Those, right? Yeah,
definitely. But it's just incredible to see the different types of waterfalls. I mean, Miriam, do you want to name any of them? I mean, they're all.
So yeah,
that's what you have to seek a ton of these out. There's not just one or two really. I mean, there's plenty that are on the Golden Circle, and we saw probably 4 or 5 different ones. And if you do some research, you'll see them all. But they are just so incredible. There's, I don't
are
want
those
to limit
names of waterfalls
Yeah.
over there?
Miriam, you want to name some
So
of them?
Skogafoss is one of them, and Gullfoss, and I'm trying to look up the other one. So right now, because it's winter, they're frozen. Most of the waterfalls are frozen. So you'll see pictures from
Selfoss is one.
from the spring and the summer, and it's just this flowing waterfall, and it's all stones out in front, and people are standing there.
Mm-hmm.
When we were there, all those stones was about a foot of ice, just frozen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you walked up, and it's crazy because the sheer force of the water, but it's frozen. So it's just, you can see it and you hear it, but it's not at its full peak because it's partially frozen.
So when do you think that, or did you find out when that thaws? What are the best travel times if you don't want to see winter there? I mean, is there just a
July and August are the peak.
2 months,
peak
July and
travel.
August. Yeah, that's kind of what I was.
But
what I was getting.
What's crazy is one thing I would recommend is to try to avoid that peak travel time. I mean, we were there, in February,
right?
And we go to some of these waterfalls that are well known on this Golden Circle, and there are people everywhere. I mean, hundreds of people just checking out these waterfalls, or whatever else is on this Golden Circle. There's just hundreds of people stopped at everywhere we went.
So how many miles is this Golden Circle?
Oh, Miriam,
roughly.
I don't know. I think it's, if you did the whole circle, I think it was like 7 or 8 hours, whenever you can drive.
So a day around.
Constant.
A day around.
Yeah. You mean you can't stop?
190 mile loop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can't really stop at all the places, I don't think, during that time. You're going to miss quite a bit, but just because there's so much
I
to
got
see.
you. I was just trying to figure out about how big it is.
And then the waterfalls, a lot of them, there's a few of them that you can hike further back and see more waterfalls.
Sure.
So I mean,
Sure.
it's.
And one of them was pretty
If
cool.
you like nature and outdoors, this is your place.
What if you like bourbon?
If you like bourbon,
No.
you're in
No,
trouble.
I'll tell you, but I can
bring your own.
Yeah.
That's
Bring
funny.
your own. So the waterfalls, there's a couple. One of them you actually can walk behind when it's not frozen. You can walk
that's kinda
underneath the
cool.
waterfall.
Yeah, that sounds almost like a tropical rainforest or something.
Yeah.
So it's cool, but
Well, there was one I tried to walk into. So it was, it kind of went back into a cave, which was awesome. You could see it kind of from outside of the cave, but you couldn't really get a great look. I mean, it was almost like it was kind of in a movie. And I'm trying to walk back there, and I see these people slipping and sliding, and I'm actually slipping and sliding in too. And I get back there, and I can't hardly stand. I mean, but it only had an opening of 8 feet probably,
Yeah.
and there's like 3 or 4 rocks that you have to stretch your legs on.
Oh gosh, that sounds like a recipe for somebody to break a leg.
Oh gosh, I can't. There were so many people that ended up stepping in the water and were just like, no, I can't do it. I can't get back there. And like an idiot, I'm still trying to get back there. Luckily, I didn't bite it, but when I finally got back there and it opened up and there actually was like rock to stand on, all the rock was frozen because it doesn't see sunlight.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize at the time. I almost bit it. I mean, it was almost bad.
You're just on a sheet of ice, basically.
Yeah,
I did not
exactly.
go back there.
Yeah.
I knew better.
Want to be
Yeah.
smart. Yeah.
I ended up fine. But it was so cool to see that.
So this may be jumping around a bit, but I'm curious after looking at all these names that you have on the board and right here on the map that you brought. How is the communication?
It's fine. They
Does
all
everybody speak English? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But everything.
So it's a non-issue.
Yeah,
Definitely
but
non-issue.
if you're trying to pronounce any of these places, you're going to have a hard time. I mean, if you ever look up any of these words, it's basically like they just take
random letters and symbols and
20
throw 'em on a page.
syllables and like 5 vowels and just scramble them together. I mean, that's literally what it's like. It's hilarious. It's awesome. But yeah, the waterfalls, I mean, those are worth the trip alone, in my opinion. But part of the other scenery and landscape is there are geysers there too. So
that's kind of cool.
It is cool.
I don't know that I've ever seen a geyser.
Yeah, like Yosemite. I mean, it wasn't as cool as like Yosemite's. You know, Yosemite has theirs that's timed. I'm sorry, I said Yosemite. Yellowstone.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep.
It goes off on a timer.
Right.
Like they can tell you exactly when it's going off. So it's kind of cool. But we went to see one and it would just kind of explode and you didn't know when it's coming out again. So I was trying to video it.
I can tell you that's happened before.
I can't wait to show you a picture of this
I
thing.
knew that was
Do
going
not
there.
show me a picture of anything that explodes and then you don't know when it's coming out again.
But yeah, I mean, it was, the picture, the cloud that it creates looks interesting, by the way. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, there's like geysers and stuff, and you can just walk around and see different places for that. And there's all kinds of hot springs. I mean, that's pretty cool. Have you ever been in a hot spring or no?
Nope. So it's basically a hot tub in nature.
Yeah, more or
nature's
less.
own hot tub.
I mean, it doesn't, you don't know what you're getting in some of them.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
because
you don't know what
the
you're getting in some
temperature.
hot tubs too.
That's
true.
true. You really don't.
So there's 2 main lagoons there that are the hot springs, and one is called the Blue Lagoon, which is near the airport.
Wow. I love that movie.
We didn't actually.
We're going to post that picture of the geyser. Yeah, you're going to send it to me. I'm going to post it.
We didn't do the Blue Lagoon because you have to buy your tickets in advance and it sells out. So anybody who's going, get your tickets in advance for that. So we did one called the Secret Lagoon, which is not as popular because it's not near the one is right near the airport, so everybody goes to it. This one is kind of on the Golden Circle, but a little bit off. So not many of the tour buses go there. So you're really only going if you have your own car.
Yeah, okay.
So we showed up and you pay for entrance to get in these. And if you need a towel, you pay to rent a towel, and you can rent a bathing suit, all that. But what they do is there's these hot springs.
You can
and
rent a bathing suit.
Yeah,
That
you can.
sounds terrible.
Yeah.
There's no chance that I'm ever renting a bathing
Well,
suit.
we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a facility though with locker rooms and showers, and then you go outside and it's this big open pool area with rocks all around it, and the bottom is all stone, and they've piped in the water from the hot springs. So the hot springs, the water is too hot, like it would melt your skin off. So they
Like the hottest hot one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It varies in temperature.
And it has all these signs up that tell you they can have it blocked because it's 100 degrees Celsius water.
Yeah, wow. That's
So
boiling, basically.
Yeah. So
Well, exactly.
in the lagoon part, in the springs part that you can actually get in, they get where it gets closer to this hot area, even though it's completely blocked off. But man, you can feel. I mean, it gets like I couldn't get to the edge because it was getting so warm.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool too.
It was
Oh,
neat.
so y'all got in there.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
And you, wait a minute, you rented a bathing
No,
suit?
we brought
No,
bathing
I
suits.
brought bathing suit.
Thank you.
And we just kind of
So what's awesome about it is, it's freezing outside. It's got
20
snow on the
degrees.
ground. Yeah, and the wind all over this place is just whipping everywhere.
Iceland is the 3rd windiest place in the world.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
so even if it's 20 degrees, it's colder than that because
Sure,
the
it
wind's
feels
blowing.
worse.
So first of all, I sat out there and waited on somebody to come outside for like 8 minutes, and I didn't get in because I was waiting on them, so I was freezing to death.
Can I add why? Partially why? You
I
have
don't think
I don't
to.
know.
Yeah.
Was that somebody?
You're
here?
supposed to shower before you go out there because it's not chlorinated. It's just hot water. So they put signs up that they want you to shower because you're gross and you're getting in. So I had to take a shower.
Don't those things usually just mean rinse off for
Yes,
like 2
that's
seconds?
exactly what it means.
Oh, do you think Lee did anything at all?
I took a shower the night before. I'm not one of these dirty hippies that's staying out there in the middle of nowhere that hasn't showered in 2 weeks.
You didn't have any product in your hair.
So he did not follow.
You had no product in your hair.
He did not follow the instructions.
No lotion
so that's
on
what took
on
me
your
so
hands.
long.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I actually did. I got my legs under there. So, but anyway.
Just where you had shaved them.
So true. But yeah, so we get out there and we're freezing, then we get in and it feels incredible. I mean, it really is like a huge bathtub. It's awesome. It's a fun experience.
Cool.
And there's
very cool.
And it wasn't very crowded when we were there.
No,
so
it wasn't.
Tell me again what that's called.
The Secret Lagoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not so secret, but yeah. Miriam, do you want to tell the story? So we also
sounds like she doesn't sound like you do.
As we kind of get done, we've been there for a while. I'm not somebody who I'm going to spend like 5 hours there. I'm good after like 30 minutes. Or
we
an
have
hour
the exact same personality.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the Grand Canyon. 30 minutes. All right, we've seen it. Let's go.
So, I mean, so I had my fill and I was having a good time. So I was like, all right, it's time to go. So we went back and got dressed and we came out and we were taking pictures because it's too cold to take pictures.
And there's a walkway that goes around the lagoon that walks right past the actual hot springs. And so you see the steam coming out, smoke, you take pictures, and there's a small little geyser near the spring that it erupts every like 7 minutes or something. So we wanted to watch that. So we're taking pictures, and I look over and this guy is getting out of the water and he is in his underwear.
Oh yeah, totally underwear.
Not in a bathing suit.
Total European.
I mean, was it a Speedo?
No.
It might as well have been a Speedo.
No, it was actual like cotton. No, it was gray, but actual like cotton underwear. And
you could see through the backside of it because it was wet, soaking wet.
And it's 20 degrees out.
Yeah.
So
if you ever watch Seinfeld, shrinkage.
So Lee and I look at each other and Lee says something like, "What an idiot." And then 2 seconds later, him and the girl are staring at us. And I was like, "Lee, they heard you." Yeah. They kept staring.
And I was like, who cares? They're an idiot for doing this. I don't understand.
So we figure out that as we continue to walk, they were waiting to see if we were coming that way so we would take their picture because they like run over. So she hops out. She is in a very cheeky bikini with a Hello Kitty tattoo on one of her cheeks.
Wow.
Not kidding you.
It was so awesome.
So
I
it's
hope
like
we have pictures of that.
Hello Kitty
We
cheek
definitely
butt
do. Yes.
with guy in underwear. And I'm just like, what is going on?
If we have that picture, it's going up. Is so great.
It was just... And then, so not only, obviously they're morons, they're like, can you take our picture? And
so you kind of see it?
Lee said,
oh, yeah.
Lee said, sure, we'll take your picture. So I told you the hot springs are like 100 degrees. They have chains kind of blocking them a pathway. Right. Well, morons jump the chain because they want to get close to it.
Here's the dude's underwear, by the way.
Stop showing me these pictures while we're doing this podcast and afterwards because I don't want to see those.
They hop the fence to get their picture taken so they can get close to it. And I'm like, do you want to burn alive? What? Yeah. And so the lifeguard comes over and basically tells them, like, what are you doing? You're idiots. And they're like, oh, we know it's really hot over here. I just
it's
don't
funny.
understand.
Miriam gets so mad because she's a rule follower, and I'm somebody like, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to get over here. It's a better picture. I'd be doing the same thing.
They're barefoot next to the 100-degree hot spring water.
It was kind of dumb.
Miriam is definitely upset about that.
Yeah,
way more upset than you or I would be.
Oh yeah.
And then also, just to throw this out there, because I'm a girl, I can say this. Hello Kitty girl, who is very tiny and petite, says, try not to get my stomach in the picture. It's really fat. I literally wanted to go strangle her. I really was going to.
Yeah.
You should have just thrown her phone right in the hot spring.
I should have thrown her in the hot spring.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably getting less trouble.
But they had to have been freezing. I mean, they were out for several minutes.
They were waiting for you to take that picture.
Yeah, they were out for several minutes.
You guys
again,
were
it's like 20.
judging them instead of taking the picture and moving on with your lives.
I was totally judging.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you are in Iceland, you have got to do one of these hot springs, like the Secret Lagoon or something like that. It's so cool.
So tell me about the something I cannot pronounce national park.
Pingviller National Park.
Pingviller.
So, I don't know if that's actually how you say it, but that's what I'm going with.
Sounds great.
So,
Pingviller,
and then with it is the Silfra Fissure. So,
oh yes, are you just making up?
No,
words?
I'm not. The fissure is pretty cool. So the fissure, we didn't go there, but it's
we didn't go there, but it's great. I love a good fissure.
No wonder it didn't sound familiar to me.
It's a rift in the tectonic boundary between North America and the Eurasian plates. So it's basically the tectonic plates. Yeah. There's a gap in it. and people scuba dive.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah,
People scuba diving.
They
Oh,
scuba
yeah.
dive from one side to the other, like between the tectonic plates, which is terrifying in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Sounds awesome.
That's like what people. It's one of the best places, I guess, to scuba dive because it's I think the only place in the world you can actually have that experience where you go between tectonic plates.
Yeah, I would say so.
Again, we did not do that, but people do it.
I bet it was cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it's not ever warm, actually. Yeah. So, and then the national park was where Parliament first founded for Iceland. That's where they
Which is kind of crazy because it's out in the middle of nowhere.
And it's just like rocks and
open.
grass
It's
and
just
stones.
open area. I mean, it is a national park. It's not like it's, there's, structures everywhere or anything like that. I mean,
it's like the founding fathers meeting up in the Smokies and saying, "Hey, let's form a government here."
Yeah. So that national park is pretty nice. It offers some pretty cool hikes. We went and saw another waterfall that was totally frozen over, but you could see and hear like
water rustling behind it.
Yes, and you could see it in certain places. So that was really neat too, and it offered some very good pictures of like the landscape and scenery kind of off in the distance because it's kind of higher altitude there, and you can see pretty far. So that another place again. I mean, all these places
it does sound beautiful. Let me ask you one more question. Who is Vic, and why have you written his name on the board?
Stop trying to move us along here. But now I want. Just to talk about Pink Biller, just for another second more.
I thought you were done with Pink Biller. That's why I'm asking about Vic.
I know, it's close. But we got to see some wild goats, like the wild white goats, and they were in like a little canyon, a little crevice, and that was pretty cool. And they have this long hair, almost like
goat in the crevice.
Actually, I read
almost
that
like a mop, I mean, like just dangling off of them.
no one owns the goats. They just free roam, free range the country.
Yeah, but I mean, they're wild animals, but I guess if somebody wanted to eat the goat, they could kill it, right?
But they say like in the summer months when they're out more, like they'll be in the middle of the road and you just have to sit and wait.
Or run them over.
Yeah.
Those are your choices.
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, so the national park was pretty cool. And then they've found like old stone structures there because when they came for the Parliament, they would like camp out for 2 weeks to have these meetings. So they found these little like old campsites and things, which is pretty cool.
Sounds so random.
It is. It really is random.
I wish you could picture like I mean, there's
I can definitely
literally
picture.
nothing else around. Like nothing. I mean, there's no houses, no gas stations, nothing. I mean, there's nothing. And then there's this. So it's just crazy that they did that.
So, but you asked what Vic.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Who's Vic?
Vic is a town on the southern coast that has the black sand beach.
Oh, very
so
cool.
Literally, it's like really fine.
I thought that was just in Hawaii.
No, it is like Hawaii though. I think Hawaii is probably a little more fine. It's more sandy. It's easier to walk on, I guess, or at least in certain parts.
Did you guys go out there?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did. It was pretty cool. Again, another place. I mean, all these places.
So is that black sand a volcanic rock or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not on the Golden Circle. That's off the Golden Circle, right, Miriam?
Yeah.
So, but it's worth a trip to drive to. And then another place you kind of have to drive through some kind of like mountains, canyons, to get there. So nice scenery along the way too. But it was neat to see. I don't know if anybody ever gets in the water or anything there. Miriam read and saw some stuff, and she showed me like a Facebook or whatever clip one time of YouTube of people standing out there, and you don't know how strong the current is, and all of a sudden like a huge wave comes in and just kind of sucks people in, and it's a strong
So I was
current.
terrified, and I told him to stay away from the water, and of course he tried to get as close as
obviously I got as close as I could.
Yeah, of course.
So it was pretty cool. It is out of the way, so most of the tour buses do not go there.
So the Golden Circle we just talked about, Vic is not part of that. The rest of the stuff that we're talking about is not necessarily part of it either. But the Golden Circle offers you everything that you want to see, but probably more. Miriam, do you want to talk about like where we stayed on the Golden Circle, at least the 2 nights, or no?
Well, the first night we stayed in Hella.
Yeah.
Hella? That sounds hella good.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool because they had like hot tubs, but they're not our kind of hot tubs. The springs are what fill them, the hot springs. So it's, again, not chlorinated, anything like that. And then they had these 2 dry sauna steam rooms outside. It's these big, huge barrels, and you just go use them. So, but again, it's literally 20 degrees out and windy,
so fun
and you have to go
it's freezing.
Get in, and it was just.
And then you get out immediately. Yeah. And what's cool about that place that we stayed at, and some of them do this, is the hotel. Northern Lights are well known in Iceland. And you can set it up to where they'll call you at any point in the night if the Northern Lights
that's kind of
show
neat.
up. Unfortunately, we didn't get that call that night, but that is awesome, I think. So that way you don't have to sit up and wait until
of course.
1 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
Or all night and not see anything.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was pretty cool, but we didn't see any that night.
So we stayed there, and then we stayed 2 nights in a little, tiny house.
It was
Did you Airbnb it?
It is I did not do it on Airbnb, but it also is an Airbnb.
So how did you?
Expedia. Actually booked it through Expedia.
Okay.
It was super cool. It was very small. It was a tiny home. I mean, it was. We've had hotel rooms that were probably about the same size. I mean, it was small, but it had everything. I mean, it was a home. I mean, it had a kitchen, and it had like a tiny living area, and it had like a bedroom to the side. Like the kitchen and living area were all basically one room, and then it had like a bedroom, but you couldn't really do anything in the bedroom other than sleep.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
But you know what I mean?
You can't do anything in the bedroom other than sleep, so it was a waste for me.
I'm just saying, like, there's no other living.
What kind of vacation is this if you can't do anything in the bedroom other than sleep?
The bedroom took up the whole room.
I had to turn to my side to walk in there. I couldn't walk normal because there's not enough room. So, yeah.
I don't think you can walk normal regardless.
True.
It also had a hot tub.
It did. Yeah.
In that tiny bedroom?
The back,
outside.
The back porch outside. Each one had a hot tub.
Again, I mean, it's so cool that you can just go outside and just look at the stars or the Northern Lights, or for that matter. We never got to see the Northern Lights in all its glory, but we were driving one night and we saw them, and we saw like a pink tent off in the distance, and I thought, oh, we must be coming up on a town soon. That's weird. And then we kept driving, and it kept getting more and more and more. And then we realized we went over like a big hill, and it's like, okay, there's nothing off in the distance. This is the Northern Lights, you know, and we didn't know. So it was very cool because it was pink, and then it started, and I was still not completely sure because I was like, man, this is just really odd. And it started lighting up more of the sky, and then it started lighting up off to our left. But it kind of stinks because we didn't see the traditional like green or even like blue Northern Lights, but we got to see the pink one.
That's
so those
cool.
were it was
very
very
cool.
It was very cool. So yeah. And then what else? Miriam,
so you want to talk about glaciers?
Glimmer?
Oh, Glimmer. I skipped that. What is Glimmer?
Glimmer, yeah.
It's like the second tallest waterfall in Iceland, and Lee found it in one of the books, and he's like, let's go do it. And I said, okay, it's kind of out of the way, but we can do it. We can map it. So that day we get going, and
it's like northwest of the country.
It's only like an hour from Reykjavik. It's just where we were wasn't quite there. We weren't close to that. So we're driving along, and it's, of course, starts snowing, and we're going up a mountain, and the clouds are so low that we're literally driving through the clouds.
Cool.
You can't
hardly see
that the snow is coming out of. So it
was really kind of neat.
It was kind of
awesome.
terrifying, a little bit.
I literally stopped in the road and just stood there and took pictures because nobody came on that road. I mean, it was an icy road. It's kind of dangerous. I can probably post one of those pictures of the car, sitting there on that road where I was just out taking pictures just because it was so beautiful. And yeah, you're literally in the clouds, and in the mountains, and it was just so cool just to be able to drive through that. But yeah, we didn't see literally a vehicle for probably 30 minutes. And we only saw one, for probably like 20 minutes after that.
So we drive, the snow clears, the cloud lifts, and we're driving along this like big lake.
Yeah,
it's really
very
pretty.
Picturesque.
And we get to the turn to go, there's a sign for the waterfall. I'm like, great, let's turn down it. The road, it literally looks like 5 cars have driven on it. Like it's not it's not plowed, it's not cleared, nothing in any way.
Oh yeah.
You drive, and it's like 5 to 7 minutes back into the backwoods. You're driving on this road.
Of snow back here.
And you just keep driving along, and we finally get to where it's like gated and you park, and there's 2 cars there. We pull up and park, get all our warm clothes on. And every other waterfall we'd been to, it's you park and you walk maybe 100 feet, and there it is.
Yeah, a lot of times you can see it in this one. Not so much. Miriam gets out and looks at the big map that's out there, like at the front, and she figures out it's like to the halfway point. It's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's a hike to the waterfall.
Oh, so a wasted drive.
Yeah,
It's still beautiful.
Yes.
It was very beautiful.
It was probably
worth
the prettiest
every
drive
second
we've
of the
done.
drive.
Yeah.
Just because everything. I told Miriam, Chronicles of Narnia, like everything's in white, and that's what I felt like. I mean, literally everything was white. It was just incredible, and it was one of the most scenic places I've been to. And again, we're driving along a lake too, so you see these lake, and then when you get closer to the edges, you see that it starts to get frozen, and then you see like chunks of ice, almost like an iceberg. So that was awesome to see. But yeah, the fact that we were like planning on doing this hike, and we probably still would have done it if it had been like an hour or two, even though,
Sure.
Maybe.
But yeah. It was going to be like 7 hours round.
But the lesson learned is actually research those. Don't just go on a whim, because
And it sounds like you can see a lot a ton. Anyway,
a ton. Yeah. A ton of easy, and
so
I'm sure they're just as pretty.
That aren't going to want to hike.
Yeah. I mean, there are some. Miriam's right. There are several that you can just more or less drive up, or you can see from the road. There's a few that you kind of have to hike to, but
are there any you can see from the bar?
Yeah, probably.
So I noticed on the board that you rode horses, and that wasn't good enough for Miriam because she rode horses down below also.
Way to care.
So Icelandic horses are the friendliest, cutest horses. They look like ponies. They got shorter legs, but don't call them a pony. People are real offended if you call them a pony. They're horses, and they're everywhere. And you'll just park and walk up to the fence,
so
and
they
come over. They're like my height.
That sounds like a pony.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like, I like animals. I'm not like a huge animal person, and I grew up with horses. So horses, I'm kind of like, whatever. Yeah. Cool. They actually are super cool. They're really cute. They're so fluffy because they have to be because it gets so cold
hair.
there. And they've got this mane that looks almost like a mohawk at times because it's so fluffy, and they're like 5 feet tall, and you can tell some of them. There was one place that was on the Golden Circle that you could stop, and it said, for 300 kroner, you can pay to feed these things. It is literally just a parking lot that's pulled off, and it's just like they trust you. It's like out in the open. If you want to purchase this, then you can do it. It's not like it's not like
you just put your money in a box or something.
Yeah. And you can tell some of those they've gotten their fair share of food. They are very fat. But they are very pretty, and they're so soft, and they're fun to touch, and they're gentle natured. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Something that I think that's cool too is they're the purest breed of horse in the world, because they do not allow other horses. They don't let any horses come into the island.
Yeah.
Like if you're born on the island, you say that I've read a thing that said if the horse leaves the island to go do a horse show somewhere, it can't come back.
Oh, wow.
They don't want to bring any disease in, anything. So these horses, they're super special to the people in Iceland, and they're just neat guys.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's something different.
I remember reading a lot about people saying how cool it was and stuff. And again, I was just like, okay, whatever. No big deal. It's a horse. But it was pretty cool. Yeah. And then, you can pull over on the side of the road, and they'll just walk up to the fence, I guess, because they like people so much. And, so that was really neat.
So how close are we to talking about your favorite portion of the show?
We're getting there. You're talking about food, I guess, right?
I am talking about food.
I've got just a couple other things. So Glacier Lagoon, which is on like the eastern side, and there's some big glaciers in Iceland. We did not go there, but I wanted to bring it up just because if I ever go back, I am definitely going. But
he did not agree with my trip planning, so he missed out on some things.
It's fine.
You're real bitter about it.
That sounds like bitterness right there. When you say it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I would based off the pictures and stuff that I saw and the research that I did, I think I would go there, but it's just so far away that it's tough to get to. And even in the winter, roads are so much worse after you get off of that Golden Circle, outside that Golden Circle. And then the other place I wanted to talk about, which most people think about probably when they think of Iceland, if they know anything about Iceland, is the Blue Lagoon.
I already kind of mentioned it earlier.
When did you mention that?
She talked
you
about that
weren't
earlier.
listening.
I probably didn't care. When did you mention it?
When I talked about the
Did you not
lagoon.
go in order?
No, she didn't. She skipped
Are
ahead.
you serious?
No, she skipped ahead. So you don't have to talk
Dang
about
I
the
just
Blue
was
Lagoon
talking
again.
about the lagoon, and so I was.
Yeah.
Way to freaking ruin this podcast. You're out. Get out.
Yeah, she talked about Blue Lagoon already when you were roaming around writing up something about horses, and she wasn't paying attention to you writing something about horses.
That's true.
Apparently. Yeah.
man.
Okay. So, yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, you want to talk about food now, I guess?
Please
since you
do.
Yeah,
stole
I'm
the
so
thunder.
anxious to hear about what the food is like there.
What the...
Yeah,
thought you were going to...
what the food
We
is
didn't
like.
actually eat that much while we were there.
You were there for a week. How did you not eat that much?
We packed a lot of snacks with us.
Yeah, we did. So
We
we
just
heard...
we had
subsisted
heard-
on granola bars.
because we heard it was so expensive,
Well, it was more that we
God,
heard
you
that
are the
there's just...
cheapest world travelers I've ever met.
and it's
Well, that's
so
also
desolate.
true.
The chance if you
Yes.
find
That people said that, if take snacks, because if you don't, you may be out of luck. Because it's true, when you're in that Pingvellir National Park, there's nothing within, a long time. So if you're getting there at 10 or 9 or whatever, you're probably going to spend a few hours there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you better have something to snack on. But yeah, so we did stop at a food truck outside one of the
waterfalls.
big waterfalls. And it was awesome. I mean, they had haddock and...
No, it was cod.
Yeah, cod.
And that's
what
all
I
they
said,
had.
right?
That's
You
all
sound like a married
So
couple.
there was
Yeah.
there's a sign, and he
I'm the
says
Georgette in this scenario,
What-
apparently.
he said our fish is caught daily by our fishmonger. Whatever he catches is what we serve. So it was cod the day that we were there.
There's only usually 2 or 3, right?
There was only one every day. So
No,
cod is what we
dirtbag.
had.
I mean, there was 2 or 3 types of fish.
That it could be, yes. Haddock was one. It could be cod. It could have been.
Oh, man, you are the Georgia in this scenario.
He doesn't.
Miriam
Read, he
is-
didn't read the
Miriam,
sign.
This
like
was
I did.
actually...
That-
what I said was
That's
right. She
unlike
just didn't
Georgia. She
understand.
reads everything, just doesn't remember it.
So
I
we got
definitely
fish
don't
and
read
chips,
everything.
and it was. And again, the food truck. He took a credit card. He literally is
Yeah.
right outside the waterfall, middle
Yeah.
of nowhere. Took a credit card, and I was like, oh, okay.
Sweet.
And
Sweet.
Amex.
So you would figure there'd be a lot of seafood there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
So that honestly, that was probably our favorite thing. Miriam will tell you about
Food
this.
truck fish. What was your favorite?
It
thing?
was
Yeah,
because it was so good. I mean, it was such a good meal. They have
What did they serve it with? It was just the fish.
French
Fries.
fries,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just fish and chips.
and then
chips. Yeah.
they have a table of your seasonings you can put on it. And Iceland has different flavored salts. That's a big thing over there. So they have one that was birch tree flavored salt, and then there was normal salt, and then there was 4 different kinds, and they sell them in the airports, these different flavors. So that was kind of a unique thing
Yeah,
because
that's kind of
we
different.
have table salt, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
So, but the fish and chips were really good and interesting. I thought it was kind of interesting. We stopped at a gas station to get gas, and I went in to get some water, and there's a Quiznos in the
That
gas
is kinda-
station.
They still had, they didn't have McDonald's, oddly enough.
No
but
McDonald's.
They had Pizza Hut.
KFC.
KFC.
KFC's everywhere. They're taking
Yeah,
over
they
the
are.
world.
I think it's more popular than the
Domino's,
McDonald's.
Subway. They had that stuff.
It was just interesting, but everything else.
We had they are known for having gas station hot dogs wrapped in bacon when it's truly not wrapped in bacon. It's almost like it's baked
Are you going to
into
tell me
the
you
hot
ate
dog.
the gas
Oh, I
station?
We
know.
did. We did.
It was good. It was actually good, believe it or not.
We went to Iceland and
It was
ate a
probably
gas
like
station
a-
hot dog.
Well,
It was
I'm
like
just
an
saying that's
$8 hot dog too.
That's one of
you know?
those things that people say you should get. Like
Oh, really?
on a bunch of the stuff that I read, it was like, oh, try these food trucks and try this. It's outside of the standard stuff. But yeah, and it was.
Did you
I
have
would
any
try it.
meals that you thought, not food truck meals, but sit down meals that you said, okay, this is the one thing that you have to have?
Not really. I mean, the seafood is good. We got a
I'm
bird.
shocked at that because you love seafood.
I do love seafood. It was good. I'm not saying it's not
Again,
good.
we were in the middle of nowhere a lot of times, and
Yeah,
there was
like
no
2
ra-
nights. 2 nights we were at our tiny home or whatever.
With a kitchen,
and
so we actually
cooked
cooked.
one of the nights.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Did you have tiny little pots and pans?
Yeah. No, they were normal. Right?
Standard size plastic pans, yeah.
But one of the cool experiences that involved food is Friedheimer, and it is a tomato greenhouse. So they grow everything in greenhouses over there.
Sure,
Makes
I
sense,
think
right?
they'd have to, yeah.
So there's these greenhouses, and this one grows tomatoes. And inside the tomato greenhouse is a restaurant, just tables set up. So they seat you at a table, and their menu, it's like 5 items, and they're all tomato based. So the main thing is their tomato buffet, and it's just unlimited tomato soup.
I thought you were going to say unlimited tomatoes.
No, tomato,
just pick it right off the vine.
tomato soup. And,
that'll be 3,000 kroners.
And homemade bread and different kinds. And then at your table, it was the coolest thing. The table had a basil plant. With a little scissors, you cut your own basil, and then a little bowl of sour cream, and then even the water had little grape tomatoes in it.
So what I hear you saying is that Iceland has found a way to make money with you preparing your own meal in a garden. Basically, we're going to put some tables out here and provide people with scissors and some plants, and you pick it and fix it yourself, and we're going to charge you a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
Actually, it sounds like it'd be.
But what was cool too?
It was a cool experience. I don't care anything about tomato soup.
Yeah.
But that's virtually all they had. They had mussels too.
With a tomato sauce.
That was about it.
They had a pizza. They had some pasta, but
I don't remember pizza.
Yeah, I think what's cool, and we didn't have any of it, but they build the tomato into basically everything. So the desserts have tomato in them.
Listen, I love tomatoes.
Yeah.
So that sounds like
they had a tomato
right
ice cream, which
it's shocking to me that they are growing all these tomatoes. That doesn't seem like something that you would have there.
Yeah. So they use the natural springs water. That's what they use too. So it's kind of cool because everything is essentially there. It's all
self-contained and just kind of
It's really it was a fun experience. It was a cool experience.
They have, though, you were talking about bourbon. They there have a Friedheimer tomato beer, a beer brewed with fully ripe red tomatoes.
That sounds terrible.
And they even put in one of their coffee drinks tomato syrup. So they do everything.
They love tomatoes there.
Yeah. So it was really cool. I really enjoyed it.
It was a unique experience for sure.
Okay.
And it was worth it. I mean, like the all you can eat. How much soup are you going to eat?
A bowl.
Yeah, 2 bowls maybe.
I made myself
all you
sick.
can eat was probably, just to give you an idea of how expensive it is there, just that was probably about $40 for both of us. So, I mean, to get essentially 2 bowls of soup each and a couple pieces of bread.
Yeah.
So,
but still interesting.
It was definitely, I mean, it was worth the experience. I'm not saying it wasn't, but I'm just telling you, like, that's kind of how expensive it is. I mean, and then we didn't eat this because we actually never found it. I probably would have ate it, but they had like rancid shark meat
fermented
there.
Shark. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I would have tried it, but I never saw it anywhere. Yeah.
It sounds a little bit like kimchi or something. That's fermented cabbage. Yeah. Anything fermented, I'm not really crazy about unless it's liquid form.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. In a barrel.
It's been aged.
If you do go, you need to, if you are going to be buying your bourbon or whatever, purchase it in the airport duty free.
Oh, yeah.
They actually say that is less expensive because the liquor stores are government owned, government run, and they're really hard to find apparently in Iceland. So it's more expensive. So they say people when they arrive buy their stuff and then just take it with them.
So they don't sell it at grocery stores? Liquor? Is that right?
They might have some beer, but they won't.
But no liquor. Interesting. Yeah.
We found that on side note, Sweden. Same thing.
This has kind of been a little bit of an education on Iceland. It's a lot different than what I expected. The ice part isn't. Yeah. But the rest of it, especially the tomato stuff and the fact that they have all these hot springs, I did not have any clue that there were hot springs there, and how lush it is. That's way different. So hopefully some folks have gotten a little bit of an education. Are you guys? You have anything else you want to add? Are you ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, I'm ready to do some.
Miriam,
why
don't you give us your final thoughts, Miriam, on Iceland?
So, Iceland was like Narnia. It really was. If you've seen the movie, it pretty much is like walking in a winter wonderland.
They have a lot of Turkish delight.
I wish, but I was pleasantly surprised by it.
I'm definitely Peter in the Narnia scenario, by the way. Just in case you guys don't
Wait, is that
I'm going to kill you all.
You turned on your siblings? Yeah.
No doubt. Just for nothing but a pound of Turkish delight.
I never questioned that. I thought you were the queen for a second. But yeah.
Well, I could either one. I
or the
interrupted
dwarf.
you. I'm sorry.
Thought you were the beaver. I don't know.
There's a joke here, but I'm going to stay away from
So-
it.
Go ahead. That's the first.
It was really good. I do encourage people to go and try to go during an off-peak season when it's a little less crowded, and just you kind of just have to enjoy it and just kind of mentally check out, relax and just
I'm pretty good
enjoy
at
how
that.
beautiful it is, because it really is pretty and it is so pristine. They've done a good job of keeping it from being overdeveloped. So definitely check it out.
Final thoughts, Lee?
Yeah. Same here. It was
Okay,
incredible.
well then that's it. You same as Miriam, so
Yeah.
let's end this.
Ditto.
Yeah.
No, it was incredible. I mean, the snow, just the landscape, the scenery, it's just incredible. We went to Switzerland a few months back, and I mean, it's hard to compare those two, but man, those two, if you are an outdoors person and you like hiking and like waterfalls and rivers and stuff, I mean, I can't imagine any other place to go that would be better
Wow.
than this.
That's pretty good endorsement.
It is. I mean, it was. Miriam's right. I mean, like the tourist areas. I mean, there were some places where we just felt like nobody else was there at all ever, and then there were other places like the typical tourist spots on the Golden Circle. It was just like, oh my gosh, there's literally hundreds of random tourists here. Get out of the way,
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Huh?
I did not think any of the
It's
sites were that
February.
bad.
It's February, and there's literally 200 people standing in front of this waterfall I'm trying to take a picture of. Are you serious?
There were
Anyway.
200 people.
But yeah, I think it's one of those places that's booming now. I mean, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's been it for probably a year, I think, and I think it's going to continue to be it. Which hopefully it doesn't hurt them over there because they get so much tourism. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. So if you like the outdoors, then
Sweet.
have at it. And I'll post some more pictures.
Yeah, and send me
I'll
some
send
pictures.
you some.
I'll post some
because
pictures. Yeah, sure.
The pictures don't do it justice, but they're incredible.
Well, I am going to end with our motto, and then we'll get out of here. You ready?
Hold on, I got something to add.
What is it?
Did you get nervous when I stopped you? Do you want to guess how many countries I've been to now?
Sure. 38.
Very close. After this past trip, I hit 40.
Wow.
40
That
before I turned 40.
Yeah,
that's
that is
pretty good.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, that was
Yeah, nice. Okay, well, good.
That was
Good, so-
I hit 41.
Yeah, before you turn 40.
Way before I
No.
turned 40.
You're 40 already, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
her face is.
Rude.
Oh man, you are in big trouble now, buddy. Okay, hey, listen, folks. I hope you learned something about Iceland, and I hope you go. I haven't been, but I'm planning to go at some point. It is definitely on the list of places I want to visit. But even if you don't go there, listen, it's better to go someplace that you hate than to not go any place at all. So get up and go do something. Cue the music, Ben. We are done. We're out of here. Go
Howdy.
do something. Out.
Bye.
All right.
So,
Lee out.
We're out. We're done. We're done.
you know how he said somebody went that we knew?
Yeah.
We ran into them
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
at one of the
That's crazy.
waterfalls.
That's crazy.
It's a guy,
Isn't it?
somebody we work with too. It was just really random.
Are you going to say that person's name, or do you not want to?
Oh, Jonathan.
No, I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
We don't really know
So
him
you
very
ran into
well.
somebody named
Like,
Jonathan.
yeah,
I didn't know him.
we just knew he was going to be there, and then literally we were.
But isn't it crazy? You go across the world and you literally see somebody that's.
Yeah. I can't
Like-
tell you how many times I've seen a U T-shirt in foreign countries.
Yeah.
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 Right, but it's not somebody you knew.
No, it's
weird.
All right, we done?
I
Yeah.
thought we already were done. I thought this
Done.
was just
Let's go.
What's your problem?
done. Yeah, what is your problem?
That was an hour, guys.
Yeah, I'm
I
actually
thought-
surprised.
No, I thought for sure it's going to be 15 minutes.